I was born here, so the marsh feels like a second skin to me. I've been to other regions, and I love the mountains and the sea, but I like coming home. This is my corner of France. It's what I know. Like Brasson, I live happily by my tree. I know lots of lovely trees around here.
Straddling 3 departments, the Vendée, Deux-Sèvres and Charente-Maritime, the Marais Poitevin covers an area of 100,000 hectares. It is France's second biggest wetland after the Camargue. The ocean gradually receded from the area, forming this vast expanse of marshland, which stretches as far as the eye can see. Developed by humans for cattle breeding, cereal crop farming and market gardening, this land is divided into 2 integral zones, the dry marsh and the wet marsh. The wet marsh is known as the Green Venice. Tony Martins uses a punt to get around. This farmer is passionate about the history of the place and its lush vegetation.
Welcome to the marshes. It was the water that drew me to the marshes. I find it calming. I spend my time boating around the marshes, and I like it here. It's calm. There's no swell. You don't get seasick. You can quickly escape and get away from all the madness. Just listen to that. That's a hoopoe you can hear. It's as good as any tropical bird. What's impressive is the fact that all this was created by hand, using shovels and pickaxes. It took about 1,000 years to create the wetland. From the Middle Ages right up to the 1950s and 60s, canals were still being dug. Saint-Hilaire Marsh has a network of 500 kilometres of waterways. Unfortunately, only about 100 kilometres are still navigable. Oh look, there's a family of coipoos behind you.
In this green cathedral, every tree planted by humans has a function. The poplars give structure to the landscape and provide much sought-after wood. The willows produce wicker. The roots of the pollarded ashes support the banks.
Nowadays, people come to the marshes to admire the landscape, but in the past, they were used for food production. Everyone got their food from the marshes, whether it was from fishing, hunting, crops or cattle. The farm buildings have been turned into beautiful holiday homes now, and you can see why. You don't need to look far. There's water in every direction, canals and waterways, and there's green everywhere you look.
The cattle are vital to the marshes. They act as land clearers. By grazing on weeds, they maintain the landscape and its biodiversity.
"50 to 60 years ago, there were 25 to 30 farmers on this 2,000-hectare stretch. There's just 5 of us left, helping to maintain these landscapes by breeding cattle, which have adapted to their surroundings. They're called maraschines, or marshland cows. We'll go and see them, but we've still got a way to go. It's quite pretty up ahead. You've got a series of bridges, then we come to a wooden landing stage, which is really lovely. Come on, girls! Come on! Come on!
Allez! Yep. Allez,
Come on, girls!
Alors,
Well, Etla,
Alors,
how are you, beautiful?
Tony has about 30 maraschine cows.
How's it going, old girl?
His cattle, with their tawny coats, are well adapted to wetlands.
They're hardy creatures, so they're easy to breed. They calve without human intervention. They put up with a lack of forage. It's very green here, but there isn't much forage. Despite that, my cows do very well here. And in my opinion, they are the most beautiful of all cows.
The marshland is a fragile environment. Largely designed by humans, it would cease to exist if there was no one to maintain it. It is only a matter of time before the forest takes over the canals, and the rise in sea level means the area is at risk from flooding.
If there were no cows, the trees would take over. There'd be no meadows. There are already fewer waterways, because the farmers maintain the canals too. So the cows are inextricably linked to the marshes and to this green landscape. I can't claim to be able to save it, but I want to preserve what I can and pass it on to the next generation.
The farmers aren't the only ones fighting for the survival of the marshes. 200,000 people still live in this artificial landscape, on this land reclaimed from the sea over the centuries.
It's great. It's got all the elements that I love. Water, light, trees, shade and flowers. It's all here. I was born here, so the marsh feels like a second skin to me. I've been to other regions, and I love the mountains and the sea, but I like coming home. This is my corner of France. It's what I know. Like Brasson, I live happily by my tree. I know lots of lovely trees around here.
Hervé Louis was born in the marshes. He also paints them. He has spent the past 45 years trying to capture these green landscapes in pastels.
For a long time, painters didn't use much green in their paintings. Green paint was very expensive and hard to get hold of back in the day. If you just use green, it can get too loud. You have to balance it out. That's what the Impressionists did. They were the first to break the mold. They'd use yellow and blue. They'd balance it out with blue underneath, purple shadow, but when you looked at it, you'd see green. This is an amazing environment for a painter. There are lots of different greens. There are some cold, dull, muted greens that are very hard to find on your palette. There aren't enough greens to paint the marshes. It's quite a rich palette. But the problem with pastels is that you can't mix them. There's always a green missing.
Is green always so elusive? Not for everyone.